folks, welcome back. Pop Retro 1. You can find me at Twitter and also on Instagram at Pop Retro 1. Need to do some updates on Twitter. I've been lazy with Twitter. I got a really old phone, an old Samsung Galaxy, and it's just over the past few months it hasn't handled Instagram very well. Some of the features seem to hang up and not work, and I need to just upgrade my phone. My phone's like 6 years old now, almost 6 years old, and so I've never been a really fast upgrader of my smartphone, and it's been a great smartphone. It's the Samsung Galaxy 8 Plus, and but I got it in 2017, and it's just not running Instagram very well. So I'll update that soon so I can start doing some more stuff on Instagram again. But today, you can also find me on Facebook, facebook.com/popretro1. And so today I wanted to share with you some recent pickups to the collection of TV on DVD. And so television on disc is what I really loved. I still love to collect. At one point in my collecting career, I had more TV on disc than I had actual movies on DVD and Blu-ray. And I think part of that reason was I made less money 20 years ago when I was younger, during that big boom of TV on DVD. And so when you went to buy a box set for a TV series, it was pretty expensive. And so, you'd get one season box set or maybe a complete series if you were lucky, but it would cost a lot. And so a lot of that money was used up on that as opposed to buying multiple movies. And so I've since really filled out my movie collection a lot over the past decade probably. And so, as the prices of Blu-ray have come down and things like that. So I've got 8 releases new to my library that I wanted to share with you. Up first, from NBC, we've got Alias, Smith and Jones. Now, this was a Western that aired in 1971, I believe, 71 to 73, created by Glen A. Larson. And he is one of my very favorite TV producers, creators. My favorite genre of television is, essentially the action, adventure, hour-long drama. And so the escapist variety. And Glen A. Larson was one of the top proprietors of that. He created Magnum P.I., Knight Rider, Automan and Manimal, just to name a few. And so I had never had this DVD collection, and I had only seen some episodes on YouTube and just online over the years. So really excited to get this. 50 episodes in this, starring was it Pete Duell and Ben Murphy, and I think one of the characters actually switched actors late in the run of this show, and so it'll be fun to dig into this and check it out. So there's a look at the back. Might as well show you these collections. This is from Timeless Media Group, released about 10 years ago, 2013 release of this DVD set. And there's a look at the inside. Just the flip discs. So, and of course, as I do that, one of the discs falls off its tray, so I'm not going to flip through all of them. I've had issues with these trays lately with some other sets that I've purchased, so I gotta be careful about that. Up next, from the 80s, the early 80s, both seasons, complete series, seasons 1 and 2, it is Joni Loves Chachi. Now, this was from 1982, 83, I believe. 82, 83 TV series, and this was the sitcom spin-off of Happy Days. And who was it? Aaron Moran and Scott Baio. So as Chachi. I haven't watched Happy Days in a long time, and I only have like the first 5 seasons. I think they've only released like the first 5 seasons, and so there are still several of the later seasons of Happy Days that have not come out yet. So, but at least they did release this. This was a Paramount/CBS DVD release from several years back now. 2014 they released this one. And there's a look at the inside. And these are pressed discs on this release, or at least my version of it. Some reversible art there. Up next, from Classic Flicks. This is a fairly recent release, 2021, in fact, of a 1957 series, Volume 1 of the O Henry Playhouse. Now, this was an anthology based on the works of writer William Sidney Porter, who was better known as O. Henry. And so they turned a bunch of his stories into episodes for television. And this is 13 episodes of that series. I'm not sure how many episodes there were in total. But this one, and this is from 1957, these episodes are from. So I think there are some other volumes in this series that Classic Flicks has released, and I just haven't picked them up yet. So take a quick look at the disc. There you go, simple. No reversible art on that, and just some information on the series there on the back. Staying in the 50s, from 1959 to 1961, 39 episodes with the complete series of Deadline. This was a newspaper drama from back then, and what's interesting to me was that according to the information on the back from Film Chest Media, who have released this set back in 2019, that these episodes were lost and forgotten in a garage in New Jersey for over 50 years. So apparently these episodes, like The Bastards, were in somebody's garage for 50 years, and they were finally dug up, and somehow Film Chest Media got their hands on them and were able to release this into the wild. And it goes for like $12, anywhere between 10 and $12 on Amazon. And I've had it in my cart for what feels like 3 years now, 2.5 years, and I just hadn't pulled the trigger, and I finally did. So there you go. I've got the complete series of Deadline, When Reporters Were Heroes. And that's actually the profession that I work in, journalism. I've worked in TV journalism most of my adult life. And so I'm always interested in any old TV shows that have to do with journalism. This also comes with a nice booklet that has some information, episode guide, and some other stuff inside. Up next, we've got the sitcom from 1953, ran from 53 to 55, and that is Topper. Now, these releases are public domain releases that Alpha Video, they get their hands on them and just release whatever they can find in the public domain. And so there are 3 volumes to this that they've released. So Volume 1 has 4 episodes of the sitcom, which stars Leo G. Carroll. Volume 2 has another 4 episodes. And Volume 3, which is in a bigger case, thicker case, not the slim case, but it has 1 less episode. This one only has 3 episodes. So in total, I bought all 3 volumes, and what is that, 8, 9, 10, 11 episodes. So there were, I looked it up earlier, there were like 78 episodes in total. So there's only 11 episodes on these, but I snagged them anyway to at least have a nice little sampler. Based on the movie from the late 30s, Topper was. So, all right. Going back to the 80s. Now, in the early 80s, NBC was kind of in the tank, and they were trying to dig themselves out of last place in the network ratings war. And what I really loved about the fall of 1982 was some of the shows that they were really daring with, and some really fantasy and sci-fi stuff. My favorite show growing up was Knight Rider. It premiered on NBC during that fall of 82. And also a show that was just released on DVD a couple years back, only lasted 1 season, The Powers of Matthew Starr, a sci-fi series that also debuted on NBC and only ran for 1 season in that year. Also, in the fall of 82 was Voyagers, another sci-fi series, time travel series, that debuted in the fall of 82 on NBC. So it only lasted 1 season as well, at 20 episodes, starring Jon-Erik Hexum, who would go on after this to star in the show Cover Up, sort of a detective undercover spy show that I really like too. And unfortunately, he actually died while shooting Cover Up. And so he was a pretty young guy, and still at the time probably had a pretty bright future. He was getting a lot of parts in shows, and it seemed like each show was a little bit better than the last as far as the ratings went. But his life ended, unfortunately, way young on the set of that show. You can look it up online and find out what went down. But anyhow, Voyagers came out in 1982 and ran for those 20 episodes, and really happy that they released this onto DVD, because this really is kind of a long-lost show, or a show you probably wouldn't find anywhere else if they didn't release it, unless someone, uploads some episodes somewhere. And this is a Universal release. Most of the stuff that aired on NBC was Universal Productions. Not all. There was some mix and match back during those days before the networks owned everything, owned their own production companies and only made content for their own networks and channels. Back then, they mixed and matched a little bit. Here's a look at the discs on the inside, and the little gatefold here. Episodes and synopses on the back. So there you go, The Voyagers, 1982-83. All right, 2 more left. Shout out to my friend Eric on the internet, who gave me a heads up about this nice bootleg set for Love That Bob. And Love That Bob was a 1950s, is that right? Yeah. Ran from 55 to 59. Sitcom starring Bob Cummings, and it was actually called The Bob Cummings Show, and Love That Bob was the name of the show when it went into syndication. So that just happens to be what the bootlegger who made the set named it, went with Love That Bob. So pretty well done set, though. The discs you see on the inside they're burned discs, but they're labeled nice and well with all the titles and some information on them, and they work fine. 6 DVDs, 47 episodes. So it's not every episode of the series, but it's a lot of them. I think more than probably anywhere else that I could find. And these are apparently public domain episodes, according to what I read in the listing for these. So whoever was putting these out is putting out public domain episodes on DVD. So I snagged it. And finally, from Timeless Media Group, from 1959, which only ran for 27 episodes, John Cassavetes as Johnny Staccato. Television's a jazz detective. And again, I'm a sucker for detective, action, adventure, and just the hour-long escapist fantasy on TV. And so this is old school of that type of genre. And so John Cassavetes, in his only starring television series, music by Elmer Bernstein, who did Man with the Golden Arm, Some Came Running, and a lot of other stuff in Hollywood. So try to get some of these cases out of here. It comes in 3 slimline cases. There you go. There they are. Same art, essentially, on each one, with different color schemes, and the episodes listed on the back of the cases with some information. So I wanted to pick up some of these, especially these. It also comes with a catalog. And this set came out in 2010. So a lot of these sets are just sets now that I missed when they originally came out, because you can't get everything. There was a lot that was unreleased, but there was a lot released also. So you can't possibly have it all unless you're a rich guy. So some of these I'm just happy that I'm still able to find affordably and occasionally online at online retailers, so that I can pick them up before they completely disappear, go out of print, and then only sell for outrageous prices on eBay or whatever. So there you have it. 8 TV on DVD releases added to the collection. Maybe you saw something there that you liked that you may want to pick up that you didn't know existed. So, all right, I'll be back soon with another haul video and some more reviews. And until then, I'll see you soon.